Welcome to Food and Loathing, a simple and honest look at what it's like to live, eat, and report on food in the entertainment capital of the world. That, of course, being Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm Al Mancini, fresh off a week in Southern California. I'm your co-host on this adventure, along with local food writer Samantha Gemini Stevens, who currently splits her time between Las Vegas and Oklahoma City, but still eats at more Las Vegas restaurants than most people I know. And behind the scenes, each and every week, Rich Johnson is our roving producer, a citizen of the world who has produced this podcast from Las Vegas, Paris, Chicago, and now his new home, Seattle. Although I think this week he might be in Portland. I'm not sure. Gemini and I are, however, with you this week, connected by Zoom, while Rich takes that slog from Seattle to Portland. And we won't be hearing from him, but if you're hearing us and if we sound amazing, that's because of Rich. If you're hearing us and we only sound okay, that's because I ignored something Rich told me to do 12 times and he had to work to really fix my fuck up, but it's still Rich's. Give Rich the credit
We
if you're
love
hearing
you,
me
Rich.
at all. How you doing this week, Gemini?
I'm doing pretty okay. Thankfully, I'm sitting in air conditioning because in both cities it's hot as balls, and at least in Vegas there's no humidity. But sitting in my living room in Oklahoma City, I have to deal with humidity. So,
I don't
ugh.
think hot as balls is appropriate because if my balls were 117 degrees, I'd have them in an ice bath or I'd be at a doctor
I was
right
going to say you'd
now.
probably be
So
in the ER, so that's fair.
yeah, it's hotter than balls. So at least hotter
Hotter
than
than
any
balls.
healthy balls
I
should
like
be.
it. Hotter
Yes.
than balls.
Oh man, it's good to be talking to you. Thanks for handling the show with Rich and of course with our friend Jolene last week, man. It was great. It gave me
Oh,
something to
such a
listen to.
blast. I love sitting down with her. I love everything that she does. So I was super happy that we got to talk about what she's doing now, but also one of my favorite events of the year, of course, Picnic in the Alley. So yeah, had an absolute blast last time. We did miss you, but I did love your little road report.
Well, thank you very much. So we've got a great show this week as the Raiders prepare to return to Allegiant Stadium this weekend, and that is preseason. I learned because I'm not a big football guy, but we're going to speak to some of the top local chefs and restaurateurs who operate venues in the stadium. So if you are starting to get geared up for Raiders season and you're going to be there a few times this season, you want to listen to today's show. We've got these chefs on where they're going to discuss how they've adopted their popular concepts to the stadium crowd. We also have news. We've got a happy hour report from Happy Hour Las Vegas's Andrew Morgan. Also have news on what may be the best steak deal on the strip. So you'll be
Oh,
hearing about that in the news section.
I'm so excited for that one because I have been craving steak like nobody's business lately.
And you know the strip. I mean, I've been saying for the past year and a half, man, you can't find anything less than $50 in the steak category. And
Right.
probably most of them are about 70, 80, 90, 100, you know?
Yep. Yep.
Well, I got a deal for you, man. Okay, you're going to just think $49 steak and a martini. So
Woo!
we'll be talking about that shortly.
Oh, we're going to be visiting that together, my friend.
Yes. I mean, this is very appropriate because, you know, we're all reading the papers about Las Vegas tourism drying up for various
Yeah.
reasons, prices rising. I mean, I'm not going to deny that tourism is down a bit, or some of the most exciting strip resorts seem to have adjusted by focusing on the money is no object crowd. But let's face it, Las Vegas is a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Vacationers to Las Vegas in 2025, as well as locals, have a lot more options and more price ranges. They're scattered throughout more of the valley. It's more than you've ever had before. The dining scene here is as vibrant as ever, stretching well beyond Las Vegas Boulevard into every corner of the valley. So we're here to give you a glimpse into how we see these things from the ground based on our own experience without the assistance of some AI chatbot rewriting the same old tired motherfucking story about how expensive the strip is. We know you paid $26 for a bottle of water one time. We get it. That does in fact blow. We're not arguing that. But I mean, I really think if there were real writers out there that maybe they could zoom in on some of these bargains that we're talking about, some of these other neighborhoods, and they could be telling people that Vegas is still a great place to fucking visit. Just got to do it right. I mean, just download the Neon Feast app would be, you
Duh.
know. Yeah, right. But so that's what we're here for. So we got a good steak bargain at the end of the show. Gemini, you were leaving town just as I was getting back home this week, but then
Yeah.
you came back to town again. Do you have
Yep.
any Las Vegas restaurant stories to share?
I do. And at least one of them we had together, and a couple of them sort of cross each other, which is a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
I'm
we're kind of all in the same mindset, and we don't plan this shit. But if we
no.
both get it on our head, we go to the same places a lot.
I did go to Main Street Provisions shortly after we recorded last week with Rich. So I'm excited. I've got a whole fresh new eye on a few things. I hadn't been there in a little while. One of my girlfriends, who's a great foodie, surprisingly had never been there. So we made a night of it. And we got to see Kim Owens, of course. She's the owner. Got to talk to Chef Ellie and meet a couple of the other folks back in the kitchen. Like, just had a really great night. But the food, oh my God. We started with the oysters. They were apologizing for only having West Coast cushy oysters because they don't.
Never apologize for coochies. I like some good
Right?
coochie oysters, man.
Sweet, creamy, a little briny. They're smaller than, some of those great big oyster shells that most people are used to seeing, but they're kind of meaty. They're nice and round. I
They're
mean,
petite cocktail party
they're
size
gorgeous.
oysters. They could be on a
Yes.
past tray of hors d'oeuvres, and you
Oh,
could handle them.
yes. And they can take a sweeter sauce. They can take a spicier sauce. They can take, the vinegary stuff like a typical mignonette or something like that. But oh, perfect, perfect. We told them, please don't apologize. Just feed us more oysters.
Right.
We also had the charred octopus with a jalapeno aioli. Fantastically cooked. From the smaller piece at the end of the leg to the bigger, thicker, meatier pieces that connect to the body. This was perfectly cooked, charred in just the right places. The complex textures and the play on the back and forth on those textures was amazing. The most surprising thing I think for me, they brought out to us to try these plant-based black-eyed pea fritters.
Oh, I've had those. Those are
Oh
good.
my God, with the vegan dill ranch, because the whole dish is plant-based. If you had not told me that was plant-based and just simply told me it was based on a black-eyed pea, I would have
Hmm.
assumed there was egg or cheese or other things in there. And then you get that vegan dill ranch. And I'm thinking creaminess and maybe sour cream and maybe a mayonnaise base that they make themselves. But oh my God, I loved it so much. Um, we decided to order two entrees between us and share some bites. I went ahead and got the pork chop tomahawk, and I did get the optional foie gras on there because I hadn't had a piece of foie in a while, and I know that kitchen does amazing seared foie. If you are a foie person,
Yeah.
go eat there. It is crispy and a little bit charred on the outside, super sweet and smooth on the inside. It
We
doesn't.
had that
Oh
tomahawk. We had that. It was we're talking about the lamb, right?
no,
No, the pork,
this is the
the
pork
pork,
chop.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that pork chop as well, and it was what is it? It's Karabudo pork from
Yes,
Japan,
that's my
actually. Really,
understanding.
really high quality pork, and it was delicious when
Yeah.
we had it.
So I'm usually picky when it comes to a pork chop. I don't want people to cut it up for me because pork, especially a pork chop or a tenderloin or one of those pieces, if you're not talking belly or shoulder or something like that, it can get a little dry sometimes. But
Hmm.
as much as I was worried about it, it actually wasn't that way. Like even after we're sitting there chatting and all this, forgetting to eat, we go back, we dig in, have a couple of bites. It was still just pink in the middle. It was still tender. It was still juicy. So yeah, I would absolutely go back for that. We also tried the roast chicken entree. We were told that that particular composition of the dish is going to be going out soon because parsnips are almost out of season. The parsnip puree was nice and sweet and earthy, and there was some greens and green sauce with it, which made it lovely. That was the best chicken my friend had ever had, and she did share that with Kim to share with the chefs. She had never
Wow.
had restaurant chicken like that, and I applaud that because those protein and pork, or excuse me, chicken and pork are two of the hardest things for me to order in restaurants because they just can dry out. I know chefs
Yeah.
are amazing, but man, we had such a great experience with those two things. We also had some Brussels sprouts that they brought out for us.
with
We
with bacon?
yeah,
Yeah,
as
hell
Kim
yeah.
Owens would tell you, three B's: bacon, butter, and bourbon. And all of
Yes. And
those are
Brussels
involved in the
sprouts. So
Brussels sprouts.
four bees. Yeah, we had those as well. Very, very good.
Oh my gosh. And then the maitake mushrooms, which is a roasted mushroom dish. It comes in a little cast iron. They make that with a bordelaise sauce and sprinkle in some blue cheese. Just absolutely love that. And I'm not a huge fan of most leftovers, but I did take those home. And man, they were just as good, if not better, the second day. Just heat it up with a little bit more of those proteins. And then we finished the evening with some throwback fernet and a s'more brownie with homemade marshmallow and the ice cream of the day, which is mint chocolate chip. And if you're not a mint chocolate chip person, I know that for some people it can be polarizing. I love it, so we decided to try it. That brownie comes in its own little, like, I think they cook it in this little rounded edge, squarish
Like a
cast iron of its
ramekin or
own.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you get that wonderfully like cooked brownie edge all the way around. The whole thing is like 4 by 4 inches. It's covered in that homemade marshmallow, which is sticky and sweet and creamy, and it just caramelizes so well when they hit it with the torch. Um, you've got some graham crumble all over the plate, and then that mint chocolate chip just brightens everything up. And it was to die for. I also took home, because John couldn't join us, a sticky toffee pudding made out of a date cake, and they make their own ice cream to go with it, their own sticky toffee caramel sauce.
I know I wanted that when we were there, but I
Oh,
just didn't have any room because I'm going to jump
exactly.
in when you're done with your Main Street, and I'll tell you about my trip so we don't have to go back when it's
Yeah,
my
let's
turn.
do it. Tell me.
Uh,
I mean, I
um,
think that's pretty much what we hit. We had great cocktails, of course, but yeah, that was our menu, and we just went for it. I loved it.
Well, I went in with my brother-in-law and his wife, my sister-in-law, and so that was cool. They hadn't been to Vegas in a while. Last time they were here, I took them down to Fremont Street. They loved that. They had never seen the Arts District. I really feel like Main Street Provisions is a real Arts District gem. The neighborhood keeps getting more and more touristy, but you get a lot of regulars in this place. Serious foodies, locals. And Kim Owens is
Oh,
always there, and her husband's there many nights.
yeah.
He was there when we went in. They know half the room by name because they are regulars and they are locals, and that is really part of what makes this place so amazing.
Yeah.
They were one of the earlier restaurants to take a chance on Main Street, and they have evolved. They've had a lot of well-respected chefs. But the truth of the matter is, it's Kim Owens who really harnesses that place. Of course, Chef Ellie is fantastic, who's in there
Oh,
now. It's always been hard to describe this restaurant, I should say, but we call it a steakhouse because, of course, Kim's background is in steakhouse, and even though
exactly.
there's a very creative menu, the heart of the menu is always steaks and chops, right there,
Yep.
front and center. Starting at $46, by the way, for a Creekstone Farms petite filet. So they
Yeah.
do come in under $50 if you
Yeah.
get a petite filet there. So I love that, all the way up to say $96 for a 32-ounce porterhouse for two.
Yep.
Um, I dig the place. We love it. We started off with some fry bread and dip. This
Oh,
Navajo Native American fry bread dates all the way back to Chef Justin Kingsley Hall, and it was fantastic. But the dips that they've done have really evolved. And it came with this fried eggplant and tomato dip, which was
yeah.
just so rich and delicious. And then this bright green, I had to look it up on the menu. It was very, very good, very mild, but it's called Vaduvan
Vitavan.
curry.
Yeah.
Vadavan curry. So, who the fuck were you getting that? Right? I mean, it was different than what you normally get when you get a meze plate, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that the eggplant thing was definitely like not a baba ganoush. This eggplant and tomato was just a richer thing, and really, really fucking good. So, loved that. Great tuna crudo, nice big portions of fish, nicely cut. This was a little spicy with the seasonings. Kim brought out a short rib dumpling. Have you
Oh,
seen this fucking thing?
yes. I've had it before, and I am a fan.
It's like the size of a billiard ball. And it's flaky crust on the outside, super tender meat on the inside, rich brown gravy all over it. And
Mm-hmm.
then these caper berries and microgreens just giving it a splash of color. But
Oh,
I sat it down. I didn't know what to expect from it. And you dig into it, and it's so tender. And that brown gravy is so good. You want to get those Parker House rolls and sop it up. And they're so fucking good. So I tried that for the first time, loved it. We always like their Cajun barbecue shrimp, which of course you need bread. They give you bread to sop that up.
oh yeah.
We did that tomahawk pork chop. Two of us got half orders each of seasonal risotto, and this was with pea puree, roasted morels, micro arugula, and a
Oh,
garlic crumble. Our half orders were fucking massive.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, like massive. There's no way either one of us could finish our half orders. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on with full orders over there. But unless you're feeding your entire table, I'd tell you to start with the half, order more dishes. You're probably not going to make it through the half, but this will give you a little money that you could save for other dishes. So
Oh,
that's my recommendation.
love it.
I'll let you get back to where you've been dining, and I'll
Yeah.
get my places later. But thanks.
Absolutely, yeah. So we went to so Friday night I had friends in town. My friend had had a birthday that week. For 2 years in a row, I missed my own birthday party. So we were just going out to celebrate, have a great time. So John was in town for this as well. So we went to Bar Boheme and we sat down and we talked to, we saw Jonah Gibbs, who's the beverage director. We saw Keith Bracewell, sort of general manager over kind of everything. Got to see a lot of the servers and bartenders that we absolutely love over there. And we just said, you know what? Feed us. We can look at a menu, of course, and we'll give you some ideas of what we like. But for the most part, we just want you guys to kind of go for it. And they did. Of course, we had the baguette and that French butter that they have. The baguette is super crispy on the outside, super tender on the inside. I love that it comes in a little paper bag, like you feel like you walked into a boulangerie in France. We had the chicken liver pate terrine. It's wrapped in more of that butter, and you put that on the bread or you put that on a crisp, and you get some greens and a little bit of bite to it, like a briny or a vinegar or a pickle bite. With everything they do, it's always super well balanced. The escargot came out in individual little, almost like a vol au vent, that the flaky crust you'll get on the outside of something, super teeny tiny, but big, big, big flavor. We of course had to get the seafood platter. There was four of us, so they suggested we get the small, and that was still so much food. We had these beautiful large prawns. We had a half a lobster. We had mussels, which honestly pretty much stole the show for that platter. The oysters, the mussels had this wonderful, like, sort of spicy, almost like an Asian flavor, but it all still fit really well within the French themes of Bar Boheme. Everybody said that the trout almondine they would go back for in a heartbeat. We had fresh scallops, we had burger and fries, we had the short rib that came out, and then of course for desserts they brought us a Perry breast, a creme brulee, macarons. We had cocktails, we had wine. I can't get over how varied this menu is, but how cohesive it is no matter what you order. You
Yeah.
cannot go wrong. It was insane.
And
I
reminder, this is again in the Arts
It
District.
is
This
in
is
the
another
Arts
James
District.
Trees restaurant.
Yep, yep.
So
So just down the street from where Esther's is now on Main, on that corner of California. If you keep going south on Main, you'll run into Bar Boheme. It's on a corner, and then if you just sneak around that corner, you can go to Petite Boheme. I think you have a
yeah.
visit to talk about. I
Well,
went
I mean, I
last
went to
week.
Petit Bohème, but really, I'm not going to tell you much about it. But I will tell you that I fucking walked through Bar Bohème because I forgot that you're supposed to walk through that alley door after Bar Bohème. So they're waving at me from outside, and I'm like,
I
"Oh, I'm
love
coming
it.
to your place, right?" And I'm like, "Oh, we want to go to the bar," and they're like, "Oh, well, we'll walk you back there, but." Hey, dumbass, there's a little separate entrance for it over there.
Oh,
They
I
didn't
love it.
say dumbass, but they should have.
You saw it in their faces.
I mean, no, they're all very, very nice, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
I knew I was a dumbass.
but yeah, I mean, service was beyond. I mean, we were there for, I think, 3 or 4 hours. I mean, we put in the time and had just an absolute amazing, amazing meal. I'm so grateful for everybody there. Everybody works really well together. I love the room. I can't get over the feel of that room. Doesn't matter where you're sitting. I still feel like you kind of get this VIP treatment. You almost feel like you're the only one in the room, even if you're sitting in on a larger table, sort of in the more open space versus a booth. But yeah, that burger took everybody by surprise. Absolutely one of the best things we had. I'm going to shout out that trout amandine again because absolutely deserved. But yeah, get your
You
ass
know,
into Bar Boheme if you haven't yet because holy cow.
I got to tell you, I'm going to be, and I know James listens to this podcast every week, so now I feel bad. I'm going to be a bit of a contrarian. Everybody
Okay.
loves that burger, and I want you all to go and try it. Everybody, please go
Yeah.
try it. I think it's a good burger, but
Okay.
I have not raved about it. It's always everything else on the menu. Literally everything else on the menu I've
Yeah.
enjoyed more than the burger. Doesn't
Wow.
mean I haven't enjoyed the burger.
Sure.
It's a fine burger,
Yeah.
but they see it. A lot of people have zoomed in on that burger as like a signature item, and all I'm saying is good burger, but I do not see it as a signature item. That
Fair
restaurant is
enough.
above the level of that burger for me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. No, I hear you. That's
Yeah.
fair. I know you've been here before. I haven't. I got to go to Tamba in Town Square finally, which I was
Oh,
so
love it.
excited about. You and I talked when we first heard that it was going to be opening. I went to the original. It opened in 2003. I'd been visiting before here, or before that. I moved here in 2005, and absolutely loved Tamba when it was in the Hawaiian marketplace on the
But it
strip.
was not upscale then,
But it
right?
was not the upscale now, and it didn't have the travel story of Sunny Dillon that it does now.
Right.
It used to be pretty, I don't want to say typical by any stretch. That's not the word. But when you went in, you knew that you were going in for Indian food. Some dishes were regional. A lot of it was largely approachable by people who might not know their regions of Indian food. But what I love about the menu that we got to experience on Saturday evening was, the discussion is they talked about Sunny's travels and spending time in Mexico and spending time in Asia, outside of, South India and things like that. They had Kerala dishes and they had dishes from kind of all over the place. And the fusion there was so fun. I didn't write down every single thing that's in each dish, but you can see their menu online. But it's worth it because you get such a good amount of fusion, and there's still such a beautiful story to be told and keeping you in where you think you're going to go. They have charred dishes and a Josper oven. They have and that's, live fire, things like that. They have Mexican dishes, they have Indian dishes, they have sushi, they have their
Sushi with Indian flavorings
right?
in the
I mean,
sushi, which is
oh,
unreal, man. Or Indian dishes with Thai flavor
yes.
profiles. I mean, just
Yes.
really a lot of cross
Oh,
pollination of ideas there.
and it's really, really well done. I mean, I've had lots of things that have been fused together, and sometimes you just go, what the fuck are you doing? This is
Mm-hmm.
not that place. This place was amazing. So, some of the dishes that we had, we started with those kimchi oysters that they offer. Fan fucking tastic. I don't have any other word for that. They are spicy, they are vegetal, the oysters still stand out. Nothing gets hidden. I don't know how you do that with something as delicate as an oyster and something as
Mm-hmm.
strong as kimchi, but they do. The banana leaf sea bass, there's 4 or 5 different plays of sea bass on that menu. We chose the banana leaf. So glad we did. Super fragrant, super flavorful, really, really tender. Of course, we had to get the bread basket, and that is like 4 or 5 different types of naan. We had truffle, we had herb, we had garlic, we had, quote, plain. Nothing there is plain, let's be fair. Yeah, we got all the chutneys for the table because I'm a huge fan of a really good chutney. And those
Mm-hmm.
fusion things still tie in. So those are mostly going to be on the Indian side of things when you're talking about, or that region when you're talking about food like this. But there were still a couple of little surprising bites and a couple of little surprising spices in there. Their octopus was fantastic. The lobster green curry, I loved the flavor. My two favorite dishes, I think, were the lobster green curry and the roasted cauliflower. They brought that one out for us to taste, and it's this cauliflower steak. It's tender but still has some toothsomeness to it. It's got lots of herbs and sauce and just all these beautiful little flavor components all over it. And it's got just enough of a bite. Nothing is overly spicy for those who are worried about certain foods being overly spicy. They talk about spices and chilies, but it's more so the flavors are there. It's not meant to blow out your palate by any stretch of the imagination. We had amazing cocktails. We got to see our friend Oliver Morati. It just had a fantastic meal there. Loved the room, understated, warm, elegant, and just a fantastic team taking care of every table. One little thing where my friend had to kind of get somebody's attention for a glass of wine, but other than that, truly they were on us, taking care of us, asking if we needed anything, and the creativity goes into the cocktails as well. So take a look at all of that and have fun with it.
You know, it's
Um,
interesting. We're going to get in the news and we're going to talk about a big fancy ass Indian restaurant coming to the strip in the
yeah,
news. And I'm
yeah,
very excited about that particular thing. But that being said, here we have it in town square, maybe like a year earlier it came,
yeah,
right? And it's just a testament to how the fact that you're getting great stuff both in casinos and out of casinos in Vegas
absolutely.
right now.
Absolutely. And just one more comment about Tamba. Like I said, they opened originally in 2003 on the Strip. They were there for quite a few years because I remember going a lot during 2010, I think part of 2011 and maybe 2012. whenever that thing got torn down, Tamba went with it. And it's just so fun that it's coming back, like a decade later, in such a new iteration, but such great care to what it is. And I love that he chose to come back and do this again in Vegas and make us again part of that story, because it is all part of that menu and it's absolutely worth all of it. Um,
Cool.
yeah, so this one is quick. I went to Hong Kong Garden on Spring Mountain. I believe that's near Jones. All the dim sum. I love this place because I love Asian food no matter what time of day it is. And so we couldn't figure out where we wanted to do brunch. Did we want to do a bakery of some sort? Our friends were heading to the airport after we had eaten. So, we had very limited time that morning. They open at like 9 or 9:30 in the morning. So we're there no later than 10 o'clock. There's four of us. We have like, I don't know, 16, 17 dishes on the table. They have really great dim sum. And if you are a little bougie or you want to try some flavors you haven't tried before, we didn't do this on Sunday, but the reason I'm bringing them up is because they do things like abalone porridge. They do things like truffle and foie infused Chinese dishes that are really fantastic. They do a lot of things with really great mushrooms. If you're an offal person like I am and you like things like liver and kidneys and pork blood and all of those, they have those options as well. So I don't talk about them enough, I think, but one of my absolute favorite places to go in and just get all the things, load up the table, and enjoy with your friends.
So you want pork blood at 9 in the morning, Hong Kong
Why not?
Garden
In a
in
great
Spring
in a
Mountain
great
Road?
porridge with some veg and maybe some other protein. Fantastic. Uh,
Cool.
yeah, I hear you. It's not your thing.
No, not at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's all I'm saying, man. I don't even do bagels at 9 o'clock in the morning. My
Oh,
stomach is like not up for anything until afternoon, man. That's certainly not like offal. No.
I get it. Went to Echo and Rig on Sunday evening for dinner. My sister-in-law had a birthday recently, and my niece is going to have a birthday coming soon, and she's just started her senior year this year. So we went over to Echo and Rig. We made a family party out of it. Man, there was five of us, and we went nuts there as well. And they brought us a few things as well that they wanted us to try. This is the one at Henderson. This is the district in Green Valley. Bright room. I love just giving people the temperature of the room. It seems kind of cold when you first walk in, but it's really nice. The lighting is done. There's beautiful photos everywhere. There's color in some murals in various places. It really brings things together. I love that there's height differences in some of the areas where the tables are. I love that you can see into the kitchen. What used to be the butcher shop area is now there's a beautiful wine fridge and like it's a PDR kind of thing, private dining room. So just really lovely space. John and I went to the bar while waiting for them, got a cocktail, and we sat down and man, we started. We had portobello fries, which is probably my most favorite thing that Chef Sam and the teams do at the Echo and Rigs that we have. We have one in Tivoli as well. It's one of my favorite snacks at happy hour. I'll buy that. I don't think it's on the happy hour menu, but I order it anyway.
Yeah,
That and
great
a
dish.
glass of wine is, and they do this, really great herb aioli with it. Fantastic. Introduced my family to that. They hadn't had that before, so they were super excited. We got oysters because my niece wanted oysters. I remember introducing her to her first oyster, so I was very, very proud auntie. The
Yay.
bib and radicchio salad with walnuts and blue cheese, and I believe there's a little fruit in there. Fantastic. Soft, brightness of a bib lettuce. It's got like a creaminess to it, especially compared to like typical iceberg or even romaine. It's a lot softer. So, it's called Boston Bib. Radicchio, of course, has that bitterness, which is great. Walnuts are sort of earthy and creamy, and then you get that blue cheese for the bite. Super fantastic salad. They brought us the house bacon, or just huge slices of thick bacon cut into like inch and a half squares, shoved through with a toothpick, and you just eat bacon along with whatever you're eating. We got the Brussels sprout sleeves, we got the fingerling potatoes, we got the crispy spicy cauliflower dish, which is fantastic. We had roasted carrots, Parisienne gnocchi, mac and cheese, and all of that went with. We got the biggest tomahawk they had in house, which for five of us was perfect. We got the 43-ounce tomahawk, all the sauces. We had bordelaise and béarnaise and horseradish and blue
You saved the
cheese.
whole fucking menu,
We
basically.
pretty
That's what
much,
you're
yeah,
trying to
just
say.
kind of went for it.
So, Echo and Rig
Um,
rules. There you
Oh
go.
my
Yeah.
God. And I love that it's family style and everybody just got to dig in and my sister's mom and my niece just eyes wide open, really had an amazing meal. And then they surprised us and I love this. They brought out a bunch of dishes of house ice cream. Some of them had like a nutty ice cream, some of them had chocolate, some of them had a little bit of something else. There was caramel, there was nuts. And then they brought out these two beautiful, massive, in my opinion, chocolate souffles with this sour cream, sour yogurt cream sauce, the cold part that they pour down the middle when they open it.
Okay, you're going crazy. We got to cut for our next segment, and I haven't
Uh,
even talked yet. You're
no,
doing amazingly well. I love it. I'm
I'm
happy with
glad.
everything, but I'm rushing you now because as we cut to news, you've got to get out of here for a few minutes and then come back. So I want to make sure we've got time to get this whole first
We got
segment
it.
in
You
before your
start because
next
the
deal.
last thing I did this week before I left was James Tree's birthday at Alcelito Posto, and I was there with you, so I want to hear what you've been doing.
We'll talk about it really quickly, and I'm so sorry to rush you. You know that
No,
we
not at
usually are
all.
more on the same track, but I know you have something that you've got to get to. So
That's fine.
I just okay. So look, I've been making time. I told you I took my family down to the Arts District. That was fantastic. We started at Petite Boheme. It's smaller, more modern decor than Bar Boheme, but it's fantastic bar staff, great lounge vibe, kind of like Banksy-ish art on the wall, and it is a great addition. So remember, the entrance is the alley just south of the Bar Boheme entrance, and you don't have to go bother them like I did. Also, good mocktail. I had a good mocktail while I was there, and I'm in the mood for those a lot lately, so that makes me very happy. Um, okay, so we told you about Main Street Provisions. You
Oh,
dined there, and I
yes.
dined there, and it was great. So no more to say there. We went to Stray Pirate, and all I'm going to say is, now, again, I'm getting old. I'm not usually out at 10 o'clock, 11. I mean, I used to not leave the house until midnight. And now, but the reason I'm bringing this up is we went over to the street that Stray Pirates on, which is a block over from Main Street.
Yep.
And man, all the beautiful people, all the hot people, men and women out like cruising the neighborhood, going from bar to bar. We popped into Prowl, which is Stray Pirate's sister place as well. Same thing, just super, super exciting scene in the Arts District. So
Yeah.
whatever people tell you about tourism being down, it may be at certain resorts, but the Arts District is fucking hopping right now. And I want you to know that. I want everybody to know
Oh,
that because it is on fire. We went. I had a meeting with my friend Andrew Morgan over at Wineaux in Uncommons, and this is really exciting to me because they are coming in. They're bringing that wine bar with food by Sean McLean
yes.
into the JW Marriott
Oh,
soon.
hell yes.
So just another reminder, we went over there. I did my hamachi and caviar dip that I always did. I did
Always.
what they call a grandma slice, which was really just a flatbread with some really cool things on it, but fantastic. So yeah, we had a good time at Wineaux, and oh, by the way, alcohol-free wine. I mean, I know. Look, I'm not here to be some guy on recovery. I want all you people to go out and get fucked up. I'm not against y'all getting fucked up
Not
because
at
most of
all.
you still have functioning livers. But I just have to talk about my experience and to open up the wine list at Wineaux, which is a fantastic wine bar, and find a couple of non-alcoholic wines, including a German Riesling. Right? Like I'm like the Germans are making
Wow.
Rieslings non-alcoholic. Who the fuck knew? And it was solid, man. So if you are in that position, as I am, for any reason that you want to cut back on what you drink, realize that you can go to Wineaux and get some alcohol-free wines. And I'm not a wine connoisseur, but I thought mine was really good. And more importantly, it allows you to socialize. You've got that drink in your hand. You're with your friends and you feel good
Absolutely.
about it.
Yeah, there's a psychology behind that.
Absolutely. I'm in love with all the rituals of drinking and of drug abuse, and I don't do them anymore, but I love the rituals. Okay. Afterwards, I went to get some food to take home for dinner with my wife. Later, Alantico Vinaio, they're a fantastic sandwich shop. They're, huge in Italy. They now have locations both both where we were. Sorry, man, somebody's trying to come in on my other line. They now have locations both in Uncommons as well as Venetian Palazzo in the new food hall. So honestly, these are sandwiches unlike sandwiches you're going to get anywhere else. Like, fine exotic ingredients, Italian ingredients, amazing spreads, very creative, super, super good bread that defines everything. So check out an Alantico Vinaio. And then we will talk about the fact that we went to the James Tree's birthday dinner. I'm not going to get too heavy into the dishes. I'm probably not going to talk much about the dishes because you're never going to get these dishes again. But what
That's
really
fair.
impressed me was that five of the chefs within James's organization, plus people that made hors d'oeuvres, but each of the chefs made a course for this meal. And man, the love and the desire to impress their boss and the idea of being a family and wanting to give him a happy birthday, like that was really what resonated with me from that meal. The dishes were fucking fantastic. That bouillabaisse was unreal. I
Oh,
think James told me he put some Pernod absinthe into it, which really gave it
yes.
that kick to take it over the
It's
top.
so good with seafood. That's perfect.
And those lobster pastas, they didn't even need the truffles, but the truffles sure made them fucking better. The crab, so just a lot of dishes, but really, man, this sense of family that James has developed, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. You can go back 2 or 3 weeks and listen to all of those chefs talking together in our centerpiece, and you'll see that's really a sense of family and community in the James Trees organization, and the number of people that wanted to come out and just tell him that we love him and wish him a happy birthday was great.
Yep.
Anything to add from that? I mean, I know that, there's some of the dishes were just knockouts, but nobody's going to be able to go and
Yeah,
order them.
because they
So
can't get them again, but they should know. I mean, I love that you talked about the bouillabaisse. I mean, the pastas were amazing. This lamb saddle was fantastic. Their crudos, if you've been to any of James's restaurants and had any of his chef's food, they're fantastic. Yeah, you're not going to get the same ones, but just know that, when they focus on something and dial it in, and they did that for this, I feel very, very privileged that we got to try some stuff that is not going to be out there, but the technique is there, the creativity is there. And that's the only thing I would add. If you haven't been to any of these places, or if there's one or two of the portfolio you haven't been to yet, go make it an evening and enjoy yourself because it's absolutely worth all of it.
yeah, so Jackson and who Justin and Adam and Sean and Joe Swan and all of you guys. I mean, just great deal, all the
Yep.
chefs, and thank you. And Kat who spilled pepitos all over the lounge. Yes, it was wonderful. We had a blast. Um,
Yeah.
I also went to a grand opening party for the new location of Big B's Texas Barbecue. I've told you all about the place. You've heard from the owners on this podcast. All I got to say is they packed this fucking joint for the party. All the cool kids were there. I saw indie publicists who don't work for them that were there. I saw casino publicists who don't work for them that were there. I saw chefs from other restaurants. Everybody loving the new location of Big B's Texas Barbecue over on Sahara and Cimarron. So go check it out. Those people are amazing. While I was there, I saw Dan and Brandy from D'Agostino's,
Oh,
and they were
right.
back in. Yeah, they'd been doing a ton of traveling and vacation time as their restaurant's getting renovated. And we spoke about getting in there to see a preview of the new space. So hopefully within the next week or two, I will have a report on that for you. I should mention, man, I wish if we had a week that I was just bullshitting and we were running short and I got to go
Do
on.
what you got to do.
We were coming home from California and we had to get off to get some gas, and the only place we could find was a McDonald's. And I was like, Rich would get a kick out of me trying to review McDonald's, right? So for Rich Johnson, Sue got a basic cheeseburger. I got a 4-pack, the smallest you could get of chicken McNuggets. Sue got a cheeseburger, and I got to say, it's bad. It's bad food. I mean, I want to say like I'm not a fucking snob and I will eat certain fast food, but if I were going to review this, I would say the bun was crap on the hamburger. It tasted like preservatives and shit to me. I mean, I could taste that. I didn't mind that the quality of the meat wasn't much because, you have one of those little burgers, you're really getting it for the ketchup, mustard, and the onions and the pickles. You don't really need the
Right.
meat. So that didn't bother me as much. But those chicken McNuggets, I'm glad I was able to buy only 4 of the fucking things. Processed chicken, mediocre batter, not a lot of spice.
Not at
I used
all.
yeah, I used to think I was more of a, that I wasn't a total snob, that maybe I could still get down with on the Rich Johnson vibe every time, but not at McDonald's. I ain't doing it. That
No.
is where I'm going to leave it. No, so I actually did. For this is the first time, probably in at least 5 years, that I've had either of those dishes, either chicken McNuggets or a McDonald's cheeseburger. And in a day where gourmet smash burgers, when you can go to Hard Hat Lounge and get all the flavors of a fucking McDonald's burger, but done with quality fucking ingredients, there's no excuse to be going to a motherfucking. I mean, if you live in a food desert, that's all that's near you. God bless you, man, and supersize it. I hope it gets you through the day. But as far as whether it's any good, fuck that.
Oh, man. Still to come, the news and our happy hour report. But first, football preseason has arrived. And with the season just around the corner, we have those going into Allegiant Stadium, a report that will help you with any upcoming games. Al speaks to several of the chefs and restaurateurs who are providing some of the food for those fans. So to hear about what they'll be offering this season, stay with us. This is Food and Loathing.
So the Raiders will be playing their first home game of the preseason this weekend at Allegiant Stadium. So this is the time of year when I like to take a look at the food offerings at the stadium to see if there's anything exciting. Look, obviously, unless the stadium decided to stage a big tasting for the press, which as far as I know, they haven't. I certainly wasn't invited if they did. But so without that, it's really hard for anyone to experience all the offerings and recommend favorites. But when I go online, when I look at who's there in the stadium and I see familiar names, operators that already run great Las Vegas restaurants, I get curious about what they're bringing to Allegiant. And those are the first places I go when I am at the stadium. So this year, I found several restaurants that are already listed on Neon Feast for their standalone spots, and they're also at the stadium. We're talking about Evel Pie, Pizza Rock, Barbecue Mexicana, Border Grill, and Soulbelly Barbecue. So I paid a visit to some of those places to learn what they're doing for football season 2025. First up, Fremont Street's Evel Pie, where I spoke with manager Samantha Bandy about the start of the season, what Evel Pie will be offering, and where you can find them.
It's a really exciting time of year for us. We do all the concerts and everything, which is fun, but football season is where we really shine. You can never go wrong with football, pizza, and beer.
Does the crowd have a different energy when they're there for a game and they've been partying in the parking lot the whole time? And, are they a different type of fan?
Absolutely. Vegas is really special when we can get the whole community together, and it's fun seeing local Vegas fans that maybe support the other team and getting everyone together for a big giant party at the stadium.
So where is Evel Pie located within the stadium?
So we are up on the 300 level by section 315.
Okay, cool. And what products do you guys bring? I mean, because obviously some people know you from downtown Las Vegas and they may expect everything from that menu. Other people may not ever have been here and they don't know what kind of pizza you make. So describe what Evel Pie brings to Allegiant Stadium, please.
Yeah, so we bring some of our fan favorites to the stadium. We do our cheesy rider, our pepperoni slice, as well as our 420 vegan mushroom.
Now, we talk what style of pizza you do, right? And I don't know, I've told people what I think it is, but how would you describe the style of pizza that you guys produce? Is it a New York City style pizza?
So here on Fremont Street, we do New York style, but over there it's going to be more of a thicker hand-tossed style, just based on what we have over there. It's a little bit different, but just as amazing.
Have you found that by being in the stadium, you get people that then come down to Fremont Street because they want to check it out?
Absolutely. We get a lot of people that either recognize us from Fremont Street or maybe it's the first time they've even heard of us when they're at the stadium and they want to come down, see what other amazing slices we have, and kind of see what we have to offer down here.
Evel Pie is not the only great Las Vegas pizzeria with Allegiant outposts. Pizza Rock and Slice House, both of which were created by the GOAT of competitive pizza making, Tony Gemini, they have multiple locations in the stadium. In fact, when I sat down with Anthony Andreason, who oversees the company's Las Vegas operations, you've heard him on this show before. Anyway, the first thing we spoke about was all the locations in the stadium.
Yeah, we've gathered a couple more locations in the stadium. We're going to kind of run out a new menu. We're going to keep the existing menu that we have there, but we're adding quite a bit. We have a dessert tiramisu that we're adding. You can come and get a single serve of tiramisu. We're adding sausage and peppers, Italian beef sandwich with or without the Jardiniere, and also we're gonna have wings by the opposing team. So the whole time we've always had wings from the Raiders. We do a barbecue, a buffalo. Our wings are nice, juicy, really crispy. They're great wings. Well, this year we went a step above and got the opposing team's kind of wing that they do the best, and we're gonna try to go ahead and conquer that and see how well we do.
Okay, so how's that kickoff for week 1, which happens this Saturday? I don't even remember who they're playing.
So week 1 is going to be against the 49ers. We have a kind of a sweet and spicy Asian theme, a really crispy wing with a nice little sweet Asian flavor. It's really, really nice.
Okay, cool. So you are there, please correct me if I'm wrong, but you are there under both the Pizza Rock and the Slice House brands?
I am. Yes, we are. We have both brands. Kind of do two different things, but all pizza related. Really similar, a really great product.
So those new menu items you were talking about, are they at one or both of those locations, those brands?
So the new menu items are just going to be at the Pizza Rocks. At the Slice House, you can still get your pizza that you would like.
So what levels are you located on? You don't have to tell people exact sections, but generally speaking, are you in the main concourse where anybody, no matter how good your seats are, do I need really good seats to eat your food? How's it work?
Definitely. We're on 1, 2, and 3 levels in the main concourse. You can find us anywhere if you walk around. We have 6 slice houses, or 5 slice houses and 3 Pizza Rocks. We have a Pizza Rock on the 300 level that will give you wings, fries, pizza, any kind of candy you like, the drinks that you would like. And then gradually on the 200 levels, we have the 2 slice houses that you can get our Sicilian style pizza, a pepperoni or a cheese. And then on the 100 levels, you have both. You'll have the slice house, which you can get the pepperoni and the cheese Sicilian, or you also have the Pizza Rocks, which are in the clubs, and they have all of the items that we just named off with the New York style pizza as well.
So New York and Sicilian are the two, because you guys have so many styles throughout your operation. Those are the 2 that you bring to the stadium?
Those are the 2 that we bring to the stadium. We try to bring them better than you would get anywhere else, but we're trying our hardest to make sure that you get the best.
Cool. So with football season approaching, I'm curious how that may change the vibe there, right? Obviously, Allegiant is an incredibly successful place. They have concerts there all year round, which a lot of stadiums can't do in this day and age, but they do. So you're there all year round. You've got Taylor Swift fans one weekend. You got somebody else fans. You got soccer fans coming in. What's football season mean for you?
Well, we love football season. I mean, it brings people from everywhere just to Las Vegas. We love the city to thrive. We love for people to try our food. I feel like if we get our food into their mouth, they're gonna love it. They're gonna think it's great. It means a lot. We have football here in Vegas, which is great for football fans, and we have a stadium which brings concerts, like you said, and everything else to it. So for the football itself, it's a good vibe. Everybody's having a great time. There's people cheering, families are together. It's a great vibe. It brings a lot to the city and to Pizza Rock and Slice House.
Of course, not everyone wants pizza on game day, and there are plenty of other options. I just learned, actually, that Mandalay Bay's Border Grill now has 2 Border Grill spots inside Allegiant. That is in addition to the Pachamamas and Barbecue Mexicana spots that have been there for a while, both of which are operated by the same people who run Border Grill. The non-stadium locations of both Border Grill and Barbecue Mexicana are both listed on Neon Feast as great restaurants. So those were my main concerns when I spoke to Yancy Perez, who oversees the local operations. But we spoke about all 3. First question, where are you located?
We're still on the 100 level with Barbecue Mexicana. We also have Pachamamas on the 100 level. It's a skewers Peruvian concept. Also on the 300 level, we have the Barbecue Mexicana as well. Still going strong. You're going to still find your smoked brisket burritos and all the skewers that you want. Please come see us over there.
Okay, so if people know your menu from other places, whether they know it from another stadium, another ballpark, or even from your Sunset location here on the west side, how does the menu at Allegiant Stadium compare to what people are getting from Barbecue Mexicana?
Same exact quality that you're going to get in any of our locations. Stadium, Las Vegas Ballpark, Sunset, Mandalay Bay. You're going to see those antibiotic hormone-free meats, organic rice and beans. Over at Allegiant, you're going to get your smoked brisket burrito, the smoked chicken avocado burrito, and also the BLTA. We have our chicharrones as well. So same standards, great food for a stadium or arena.
So how exciting is it for you and your team when football season rolls around?
Oh, this is go time, and we're so excited. First game is on Saturday. This is going to be an amazing time. We love the energy of the Las Vegas Raiders and being inside of Allegiant Stadium and have some new things happening at Allegiant Stadium as well.
So barbecue Mexicana, just for those who may not have tried it yet, because it is a very, very creative, and I don't know if I could say unique, maybe somebody in the world is doing it, but it's very original concept. So could you tell people about that?
Yes, so we like to say this is American barbecue with Mexican flavors. And so what we do is we take your typical barbecue dish, a meal of brisket, coleslaw, barbecue chips, and we put that all into a burrito. We wrap it in a flour tortilla, nice and easy to walk with, but you're going to get the crunch, you're going to get the temperatures of hot and cold all into one burrito. It's amazing, the textures and the flavors, real bold. It's in your face.
And Pacha's Mamas, that's your skewer concept, and make sure I pronounce that right when you tell me about it. But tell me about that as well.
Pachamama, it's on a cart on the 100 level. This is a Peruvian style concept. It's really rice with skewers. So we do a beef lomo saltado skewer with a chimichurri rice. We do our jerk chicken skewer with a coconut rice. And these travel well. It's amazing product that we're putting out there. And once again, those bold flavors that you know from Border Grill Group.
Okay, so those are things that people that have been to various sporting events have seen already in Las Vegas. I understand you're now bringing the crown jewel concept. Border Grill itself is moving into Allegiant.
Yes, we had the opportunity to open 2 Border Grill stands, one in the Modelo Club and one in the Twitch Club. You're going to find the same exact quality and food you're finding at Mandalay Bay at our Crown Jewel Border Grill, carne asada tacos, but we've also added some new things. We have birria tacos with the consomme. We're doing churros that are handmade, and we're also doing a Latin-inspired chicken finger with a chili lime ranch, so those are doing amazing. Ceviche, agua frescas, horchata, everything made from scratch. You can find those in both of the clubs. We opened about a month ago, and we're going strong and can't wait for our first Raiders game with that.
Finally, the Arts District Soulbelly Barbecue, one of the top barbecue spots in town, according to Neon Feast. It's also in Allegiant. But as Bruce Kalman explains, it's not barbecue that they're offering there, and they actually have a different name.
At Soulbelly, we have a burger on our menu that's been really received well. It's a smoked brisket burger, and it got me thinking, what if we did sort of a smash burger brand of Soulbelly? Not smoked, but just with the same vibe, same type of ingredients that we use at Soulbelly. And so that's what we've done at Allegiant. We have Soulbelly Burgersmith now, and it's double patty burgers. Classic, we do a classic American. We're using high quality ingredients only. Like my friend Eric Greenspan has a cheese brand called New School American Cheese. He's another amazing chef. And we're using his cheese. We're using local buns like the ones we used at Soulbelly. But we have a classic American style burger with, secret sauce and pickles and American cheese. We have a green chili burger with hatch green chilies and chipotle crema. We have a veggie burger option for all the veg heads out there, and then we do, of course, a barbecue burger with some spicy barbecue sauce, some smoked cheddar cheese, and then we have fries and onion rings. So it's just the idea of trying to serve something super high quality at a stadium is what we're doing, basically.
Where are you located within Allegiant Stadium?
So in Allegiant, we're right next to the Twitch Lounge at section 128.
Is that something that everybody can get to, or do you have to have certain seats in order to access that?
Everybody can get everywhere in the sort of the quote-unquote Gen Pop part of Allegiant Stadium.
Okay, cool. So, look, I know that you've been at Allegiant for a while. I know you've cooked kind of backstage for people. You've cooked up front for people. Does having football season roll into town, does that change the vibe of what it's like? Are those football games different than maybe a Taylor Swift concert or a Metallica concert or whatever?
So having the football games compared to concerts is definitely a massive shift. The concerts typically aren't as busy. People are there to see the music. And, we do okay, but when there's a football game, we are busy, and people are there. They're drinking, they're eating. It's part of the sort of football culture to eat. It's not necessarily concert culture to go chow down at a concert. So I think that's more out of necessity. Whereas people go to a football game hungry, and even if they're tailgating, they're going to get something.
So are you planning to take this Burgersmith idea, which of course you developed at Soulbelly, you brought it as its first full-time thing to Allegiant. Are you planning to take that to a brick and mortar outside of, say, the sports stadium world?
So definitely in the plan to expand the Burgersmith brand. It would look a little bit different because you have to tailor your concept for a stadium, but not too much of a departure. So yeah, I mean, the plan would be to sort of get the brand out there, test things out at Allegiant Stadium, and then hopefully, look at a brick and mortar location.
Coming up, the happy hour report and the news. This is Food and Loathing.
News is coming up, but before we get to the news, we have to do our happy hour report. Nobody knows more about the best happy hours, the regular happy hours, reverse happy hours, all day happy hours, anything that has the word happy hour in it and has some great discounts. Andrew Morgan is the guy. He's at happyhourvegas.com, but he's also here on Food and Loathing once a week with a happy hour report. So welcome back, Andrew. What you got for us today?
Thank you, sir. We are talking about the Rooftop happy hour again. This one's 63 floors up on the Strip. So excited to share what I'm digging up here.
63 floors. I love Las Vegas because we just make up numbers for the floors. So I don't even know. It's because it's never that many stories up. So who calls their top floor 63?
This is the foundation room at Mandalay Bay. So you think about the rooftop, the patio, the view of whatever it is. This is definitely amongst the highest in terms of elevation. 63 floors. I think the only taller one is at the Strat. 108 floors or stories or whatever it is. And then a close second is the Link, the high roller, the wheel there on the promenade.
And I'm also going to tell you, if we're just going by numbers, not by feet, you've got Ali on 66 at Resorts World, at the top of the Conrad.
Very true. And then off strip, you got Vitry at the Palms and stuff like that. No
Legacy Club.
Yeah, exactly. No shortage of rooms with a view at this place, and a happy hour with a view at that. So, but yeah, so I was at the foundation room, Mandalay Bay, 63rd floor. It's pretty funky. It's cool. So if you think about foundation room, it's a kind of the secret kind of exclusive backstage room of the House of Blues, which is also in the Mandalay Bay. So it is a happy hour that starts Sunday 6 p.m. And then Monday to Thursday 5 p.m. Kind of, I think, goes till about 7 o'clock or whatever it is. So a couple hours, but definitely worth the trip there.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things people should know. I used to be a member of the Foundation Room, right? When I first moved to Vegas, I coughed up like $2,000 a year to be a member of the Foundation Room. Realized it wasn't worth it. I wanted to interview bands up there, but you had to trek all the way across. But Foundation Room is great. The cat who created House of Blues was one of, I believe, the initial investors in Hard Rock Cafes, and then he created House of Blues. Did a lot of traveling in the Far East, and all of the Foundation Rooms, which is his private charitable foundation, they have them at many House of Blues, are all decorated with like crazy stuff that he brought back. So these gorgeous Buddha statues and these walls they're made from like women's dowry materials, and so it's super 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 cool. And there's no better place to watch the lights of the Strip come on as the sun goes down than standing on the balcony of the Foundation Room at the far south end of the Strip, looking straight up. You can see them come on one at a time up until you hit that curve, right? And then it curves sort of around, I don't know, Caesar's E or something.
Just when you think you know someone, you're a member of the Foundation Room. So you fast forward a couple years, and you don't have to pay the $2,000, but you're going to shell out $13 for a Vindaloo taco and like $9 for a cocktail or something like that. So much better deal. The view is still the same, actually probably a little better, lots more lights. Definitely worth it.
Cool. Do you know how many food items they actually have on that menu and how many beverages they're offering?
Yeah, you're definitely not going there for the foodie aspect for the menu of it. You're going for the view and the vibe, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's kind of got this, international. I think it feels like a voodoo kind of offshoot of a House of Blues kind of thing. But the menu itself has about 3 food items, and then the drinks are your standard spirits. $11 for your Johnny Walker, for your Beefeater kind of thing. $9 by the glass of wine, and decent selection of wine. $7 for beers. So pretty good. The food items, 13, 11, and 10. The Vindaloo tacos, surprisingly, pretty damn good. You got the mint yogurt, you've got the tamarind, you've got the curry, all that stuff put together. So it's a good taco game. The others are this tempura cauliflower and another chicken type of a chimichurri thing going on there. Pretty good.
Cool. Sounds fantastic. Quick reminder for people, there's a dedicated elevator for Foundation Room. Look, the Mandalay people move it the fuck around all the time. There's that one elevator bank, and they put different little walls everywhere. But just walk around the fucking elevator bank. You'll find the one that is dedicated for Foundation Room.
Yeah, actually, it's that hidden elevator bank that you pass by, you don't really see it. Look for Hazel Coffee and Cocktails. So it's a larger thing kind of in the main menu. It's on the opposite side of where the convention center is and that restaurant row is. But once you find it 63 floors up, you're good to go.
Thank you, Andrew Morgan, and of course, this whole team for getting that happy hour report together. I love that every week. I get something new, even with all the information we get. Now, let's do some news. Sauve Summer, as in Sauve Blanc, is in full swing at Water Street's Gem Azura Wine Bar. Rotating happy hour bites and beverages, including 3 Brooms Sauvignon Blanc for only $8 a glass, can be enjoyed from 4 to 6 p.m. every day the wine bar is open. Last pour is available every night for $7 a glass. And details for upcoming happenings. One, this weekend when this drops, that's going to be Sunday, August 17th, the Summer Sunset Paint and Sip. From noon to 2:30 p.m., you can let your creative vibes flow and enjoy a tasting of Sun Goddess Rosé, being billed as a vibrant Pinot Grigio Ramato from Italy, crafted by the one and only Mary J. Blige. For those of you into your hip hop, she is a worldwide entertainer. An instructor will guide you through your painting experience of a summer desert sunset while you sip. Tickets include the canvas, paint, aprons, guided instruction, and a glass of wine. That's $52 if you reserve your spot by calling 725-223-3900. Again, that's Azura Wine Bar in Henderson. That's open Tuesday to Thursday from 3 to 9 p.m., Friday from 3 to 10, Saturday 1 to 10, and usually closed Sundays and Mondays. It is located at 314 South Water Street in Henderson. And what you got, Al?
What have we got? As I mentioned earlier in the show, man, the national media, some local journalists, they've all latched onto this storyline about Las Vegas becoming too expensive for people. Honestly, I think it's a bit of an oversimplification that conveniently avoids looking at some political issues. But hey, I avoid political issues on this show all the time, so fine. There's no denying prices on Las Vegas Boulevard are high. For the past year or so, I've been looking at steaks on the strip. They're $60, $70, $80, $90. Hard to find one below $50, which is why I got so interested when I got a press release for a new promotion at Cheri Rooftop in Paris, Las Vegas. And that, of course, is the indoor-outdoor venue. It's kind of in the legs of the outdoor spot is actually in the legs of the Eiffel Tower. We've done brunch. We've talked about brunch up there in the past, but it's now they are now doing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday dinners. They've been doing that for a little while now. The new promotion is called Shaken and Seared, and they're offering steak frites featuring a 10-ounce prime flat iron with duck fat fries and a top shelf martini for $49. Now, that's just nobody does that. So
wow.
Right? So I dropped by the Paris to speak to Chef Anthony Carron about the promotion.
Your choice of a steak with your choice of a martini, and the whole thing is $49. So it's a great deal.
Okay, when I hear that, I immediately go, something's got to be wrong, because I've been telling people for a year and a half you can't get a steak for under $50 on the Vegas Strip. But these are legit steaks, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll start you out with a 10-ounce prime flat iron, which is a fantastic steak. It's a big cut. It's prime USDA. If you want to upgrade for a few more dollars, you can get into a filet mignon or a ribeye. But honestly, I'd stick with the flat iron myself.
And tell me about the martini that comes with it.
Really, it's your choice of either a Stoli Elite vodka, a Gardner gin, or an espresso martini, if that's your cup of tea.
Okay. So when is this available, and do I have to tell people in advance that I'm making a reservation to get this deal, or can I just walk in and get it?
Nope, you can just walk in and get it. This is at Cheri for our dinner, which is currently, right now we're 6 to 10 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but we're going to be opening up 5 days a week on September 1st, and we're going to be expanding our hours to go from 3 to 9.
And MGM Resorts International has confirmed some details on an outpost of London's Michelin-starred Indian restaurant, Gymkhana. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's opening this fall in Aria. It's going to occupy the space that was formerly home to Julian Serrano's eponymous tapas restaurant. The official press release on the matter basically hypes how the London original, which has 2 Michelin stars, has become a London hotspot for celebrities and A-listers, and it offers a sophisticated spin on Indian cuisine. As I said earlier, I love the idea of modern, sophisticated Indian food. Love it at Tamba in Town Square. Can't wait to see it at Aria. So I'm excited about that. In case you missed it, which I did while I was out of town, the Jose Andres Group and the Venetian have announced September 4th as the opening date for Bizarre Meat's new location within the Venetian. I believe that's about it for me for now. I want to remind people that for more dining news, go to foodandloathing.vegas. That's the new home. And there you find all of our news, some news that you might have seen under another URL that we were putting out not that long ago. It's all over at foodandloathing.vegas right now. It's there along with the streaming of this podcast. You'll find some of the stories we're discussing here on the podcast itself in written form. It's also where you're going to find Bob Barnes' weekly dining and entertainment news column. And this week, Bob tells you about events at Ooh La La French Bistro, Grapevine Cafe, and Stubborn Seed. He shares details on the Las Vegas Pizza Festival, takes a deep dive into the Spot Gastropub on Desert Inn near Durango, and he has news on Flight Club, Lotus of Siam, and a Michael Franti show at the Durango Resort. Bob's column, man, this is a vital resource if you want to stay up to date on the local food and beverage scene. We are proud to publish it each and every week at foodandloathing.vegas. And by the way, Bob also this week has a chef profile on Laguna Beach House's Luke Palladino. You should check that out. And I think that's about it, Gemini.
You know what? We've covered a lot in a short period of time. I want to thank everybody that was a part of this show this week. That's all of our guests: Samantha, Bandy, Bruce, Kalman, Anthony Andreason, Yancy, Perez, Anthony Carron. I'm Samantha Gemini Stevens on behalf of Welcome Back Al Mancini and our behind the scenes Rich Johnson, hoping you have a delicious week and always manage to stay hungry.